Okay, we're live. So, one thing I realized after looking into a lot of different ChatGPT studies and things of that nature is there's really not a lot of great information that isn't super bogged down with technical terms regarding the different models of ChatGPT. If you're an automation and AI nerd like myself and also doing no code and low code, one of the things that you're looking for is what can we do? What are the options with what we can do with ChatGPT in automation? And one thing that jumped out at me was model selection. You're able to select all these different models, but if you look online, the vast majority of it just shows, ChatGPT 4, ChatGPT 3.5. What do the different models of ChatGPT do? And if you look at the information, it breaks down in some blog posts some pretty heavy stuff, but a lot of this information, like, that was a paywall and it's the number one result on Google. Reddit underneath discussions number 5. How do we know what models, like, it's like support forum stuff. It doesn't make any sense why it's so difficult to find out what these models do. So we're going to figure that out right now. I have the full list from Zapier, and we're going to break this down, okay? So I'm going to actually go ahead and tell the robot what we're going to do. Let's break down this list item by item using Bing search to identify exactly what each model does and show its pros and cons in a list, and then sort it by highest performing to lowest performing model. Please create this in a table with columns to show the differences easily. So let's go ahead and see what it comes up with. So it ranks Turbo as number 1. And then you can see here that there's some versions. So this looks like Turbo, but the version looks like it's from April 9th. So ChatGPT is releasing some of their versions as actual dates, which is something you don't always see very often. With that being said, there are looking like some other things as well. For instance, Vision Preview is a model, and it looks like it is better at image analysis. So there's two things that people use ChatGPT for in images that are pretty obvious. One is creating images with DALL-E 3. It's a really cool thing that you can do with ChatGPT, is create an image with a prompt. But the other thing is analyzing images. What's in the image and what from that image can it do? What content can it take? Another thing too is it looks like these preview versions and these other sample versions require either special integrations like ChatGPT 4 Turbo 2024 04 09, so again April 9th. Preview may contain bugs. So in that instance with Vision Preview, might not want to use that in a business application, more for testing. ChatGPT Turbo lacks the abilities of GPT-4, right? GPT-4 1106 Preview has less stability. So there are cons to these different items. It does look like one thing that stands out is that GPT-4 Turbo is not as powerful as GPT-4 Vision, which is really interesting. So GPT-4 Vision Preview, this is not the beta version, combines vision and language task, insightful image analysis. So you can send it an image and you can send it actual information. So this is very interesting, especially when images are supportive of the content. One thing to know about this is that if your image contradicts the content, like let's say, tell me how many yellow buttons are in the image and the image is showing 3 green buttons, results can vary. It might list how many buttons are there, or it might make the right sense that there are no yellow buttons, but there are green buttons. The response can vary based off of the contradicting information. As long as they're complementary, it definitely improves the result. So as far as another thing a lot of people look at is context, right? So that was kind of like a general overview of what all these different items do. Let's come up with a use case. So the thing that I'm trying to figure out for right now is dumping a bunch of raw data into a folder in Google Drive and then having ChatGPT assign labels to the data based off of a lot of different circumstances. It's kind of like a complicated labeling system in itself. So definitely something that's an applied business use case. What we need to do is format that text from Google Drive first, actually. So we need to duplicate this step and then add another step here, because the point of that is once we get the data labeled, we want to put it in a Google Sheet. So what ChatGPT version should I use for this? For Excel, so let's go ahead and ask it. What top 3 versions should be used for taking a spreadsheet of over a couple hundred rows with over 15 columns per row and analyzing all the data and then generating in response a table with 2 columns, one with, let's just call it keywords, and one with labels about those keywords. The label assignment feature has multiple variables, so not an easy task. Output needs to be in a table, easy to put into a sheet. Let's just put this out here and see what it says. Interesting. So it looks like the Vision Pro. So we have 1106 GPT-4. So up here in the original table, this is the item. Allows testing of GPT-4 improvements, includes new features. Preview versions may be less stable. If this can do the thing I need it to do, I'm willing to risk stability, but at what cost? How often is it unstable, right? So now, okay, sounds good. Make a table of cost comparison based on this projected amount of data input, output for token usage, and that conversion to USD based on ChatGPT fees. Also, under that, expand. I should be just speaking this out loud. Expand on your examples of being the best for this, including use cases and examples. I just want to get an idea of how it's using that, because I'm curious. So that's one thing. It's a lot more expensive. Oh, no, it's not. Turbo is definitely much cheaper, though. Wow. Big difference here. Big difference in cost, right? Okay, so this is a good explanation. It's basically saying all of these different things that can balance all this. Why can this version do better than others with balancing this request? What are the specific reasons? In detail. Technical level. So this is going to be like my final thing. It's like, so what is the real deal here? So tabular data interpretation. So this is one thing. Rank, make a few tables. Rank all models by this skill set or ability. I don't think it's a skill set as much of it as an ability. OCR, optical character recognition. It can look at tables directly. Nuance categorization. Complex pattern identification. Oof. Damn. It's going to be hard for me to not use this now. Problem is, it's unstable, but with that being said, it's really selling itself, right? So inside Zapier, I'm going to go ahead and take a look. So we got 0613. What does 0613 do? for ChatGPT 4. Okay. Didn't even give it any feedback before for it to require this. Oh, it's the date. Okay. Could include. What exactly does it include? Don't do hypotheticals. Find as much knowledge using Bing search and deliver a summary with points like above. This gets to the point to where you're almost like, this is what I call fighting the robot. Basically, you have to go back and forth with so much instruction that it almost makes sense to go a different route when finding your answers or accomplishing your task. Every now and again, it pays off, though. So it utilizes JSON. What other models do? Function calling? Extended context length. Oh. What has the largest context length? And bugs. Doesn't really. Oh, it's all about JSON. Lower pricing. When does it make sense to go with an option that is lower pricing? When does quality of output really start to become noticeable? Now, I know that they have graphs and tables and charts that show all this information online about like the power and testing. So, AI model testing results table. Let's see if we have any examples here. There's one really good one. I can't find it right now. It's kind of like an idea like this. So you have a table that shows its different abilities at different levels of different samples and tests. Kind of like a litmus test, if you will. A Turing test, if you will. But at any rate, back to what I was doing. So it looks like 0613 is JSON specific. So this is 100% focused on coding or database back and forth or calling. Okay. So I'm pretty sold. So I know what to do now. As far as Vision preview goes, what I'm going to do, take all of this information and create a prompt focused on chatting back and forth with people on what models to use in what scenarios. Instruct to use Bing for search. Don't do hypotheticals except explicitly asked for. Utilize table output for easy comparison of information with summaries after. And what we're going to do is I'm going to create a custom GPT for anyone watching. GPT model chat -ARC. So that's how you're going to know it's me. Built by advertisingreportcard.com. And we're going to grab that prompt. Why is it make the actual prompt to feed to ChatGPT include temperature where it makes sense and make a technical prompt to restrict guidelines. pretty sure that this just responded like the robot out of Fallout with this all happy message before it cuts your guts out, because that is definitely not a good output. Unusable. Whatever. Let's just take this and run with that. Boom, Shaka. Oh, you're supposed to list each model. Any other AI-specific instruction type things like temperature within the prompt. Use your best judgment to create the best prompt. See, I'm fine with the robot now, but I'm doing this for the community. I don't even know if anyone's watching this right now, but if you are, you're going to be able to use this. And then you can talk to it about whatever you need regarding what model. No, list every single model first fed to you. Do not shortcut. And do not include an intro or outro. Come on, man. I just got... Oh, my God. Use cases. Also open with a prompt like you did before. And stop shortcutting your output by leaving key info out. That is a failure. Put out a full prompt with all key details. I want to thumbs down that bad boy real quick. Okay, I think that this is going to be the charm. Thanks for sticking in and watching this if you still are. If you're like me, you probably would have fast forwarded past this part right now, but you know you want that prompt. This is actually not too bad. Copy, paste. What do I do? Sweet. I'm going to post a link in the description of this YouTube video with a link to this custom GPT. Let me know. I'm going to put on Code Interpreter too, just in case. Let me know if it works for you. I'm looking forward to getting some feedback from you guys. Need to update my... Oh, well, I'll put the link in there so anyone can still use it. I should have it in the GPT store, you know, like that whole get rich quick thing that they were going to do that they never did. Yeah, I was there for that. Keebler Farms remembers. That's it, everybody. This is Mike with Advertiser Report Card. Hope you found this helpful.